Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Diamond Select Munsters Hot Rod series. That's right, it's a brand new wave of Munsters action figures from Diamond Select Toys, giving us 3 variants of some of the main characters and 1 all-new character to add to our collection. As you can see, the 4 figures come in the large-scale blister card packaging that Diamond Select is known for, fully showcasing all 4 of the figures inside of their packaging, with really cool close-up images of the actors in their makeup on the spines of the boxes. The backs of those packages just gives you some information on the characters within, as well as the episodes that these particular versions of the characters come from, and shows off the other figures in the wave, and the Build a Staircase that is included with all 4 of these figures. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at each of these figures outside of their packaging, and we'll go ahead and start things off with Hot Rod Herman. Now, this figure is based on how Herman appeared in the episode Hot Rod Herman, where he was basically just trying to win a hot rod race to impress his son. So this particular version comes sporting a really cool leather jacket and a sweet driving cap. Now, the paint and the details on this figure are really well done. You can see that there's a great sculpt there with an amazing likeness to actor Fred Gwynne, with that awesome smile on his face, and the little bolts in his neck, the little scar on his forehead. Lots of great details here that look exactly like Herman Munster appeared in the series. Now, all of the paintwork on this is really nice. You can see the leather jacket that he's wearing has got all these zippers and pouches and the little belt on there, and the zippers and everything are all detailed with some nice shiny silver paint, while the rest of the jacket's kind of got this nice, almost pleathery shine to it. Great sculpting detail goes all the way down even to his boots, where he's got those nice lifts to make him even taller than he already is. Now, this is the tallest figure in this particular wave, as it should be, standing in at just around 8 inches tall. And he does include a few accessories. First and foremost, he does have that removable driving cap. It fits nice and snug on his head, but you can just pop that off if you want to display him without the hat, which shows off much more of that Herman Munster head there. And then there is also this pair of goggles that you can strap over the hat. Now, that strap is a little tight, so word of warning, it's a bit hard to stretch it over the hat. You can also put it on his head to wear it over his eyes, but the strap being stretched out from the hat itself makes him a little too loose to fit over his head. So just be a little careful with that strap, because when you put it back on the hat, you definitely don't want to break the strap of the goggles. Herman also comes with a figure stand that looks like a chunk of roadway. There isn't actually any pegs on there, so it doesn't really plug into his feet, but it is nice and flat, and he stands on it nicely, so that way you can just have a cool little street scene underneath his feet. Now, as far as the articulation goes, Herman here is actually probably the best articulated out of this bunch. He's got a great ball joint at the head, so you can rotate it all the way around, move it left and right, ball joints at the shoulders, swivel at the bicep, as well as a swivel above the elbow, and a nice elbow bend there. He's also got swivels at the wrist and hinge joints at the wrist. You can rotate him at the waist. He's got hinge joints at the thigh, so the legs can go outwards, forwards, and backwards. Swivels at the thigh cut, standard joints at the knees, and joints at the ankles. So, great range of motion for this guy, so you can even get some pretty good posing out of him. Next up, let's go ahead and take a look at Raceway Lily. Now, this, of course, is Lily Munster, as she appeared at the racetrack to cheer on her husband. Once again, there is a great sculpt here with a beautiful actor likeness to Yvonne DiCarlo. There's a beautiful paint job all over this. You can see she's wearing kind of this almost light purple colored dress, and it's got some really nice shading on there that brings out all of the details. So you can see the nice folds and wrinkles kind of in the dress that makes it look like it's flowing very naturally. She's also got the signature white stripe going down her hair. I will point out that it is a little sloppy, unfortunately, on the back. You can see there are some spots where the white is missed, but it's not overly bad. And for the most part, the paint job on the figure as a whole is really good here. Now Lily does include one accessory, being her umbrella that she was holding while out under the sun there. It's a really cool design that actually has some little dangly tassels on it, and it's got a really cool purple and black color scheme. Now I will also mention that the handle is a little loose fitting in her hand. She doesn't get a very tight grip on it. She can hold it, but you definitely have to find the right position so it doesn't droop over. Now, as far as articulation goes on Lily, you can rotate her head left and right slightly, but the hair is a little stiff, so it's going to hinder the movement. She's got ball joints at the shoulders there, so the arms can go outwards, forwards, and backwards. She's also got swivels at the bicep, standard joints at the elbow, and swivels at the forearm. And you will notice that the parts of her sleeves that are hanging down underneath her arms there are made of a nice soft rubbery plastic. She's got a nice rocker at the torso joint there, so you can rotate her body all the way around, and you can swivel her waist left and right. Now, her dress is made of a softer plastic, but it is still going to hinder the movement on her legs. You can still swivel the legs underneath, and you can move the ankle joints up and down, so you shouldn't have any problems keeping her standing. In addition, she also includes that same little figure stand that came with Herman. It's a piece of roadway, and it doesn't have any actual pegs on it, but it's a nice flat surface, and will keep her standing. Alright, next up, let's go ahead and take a look at Hot Rod Grandpa. Just like with the other figures, he has an amazing sculpt with a really great actor likeness to Al Lewis. He's got a really good paint job there with kind of a wash on there that really kind of brings out all of the details, especially since he's wearing kind of this white driving coat. It's more of an off-white, and it definitely has a slight black wash on there, which helps bring out the details like the wrinkles and the buttons and the pockets and all of that on there. So this particular version of Grandpa Munster is wearing that driving jacket, some nice driving gloves, and a cool hat to match. For accessories, he also includes his own pair of goggles, which do fit right over his head very easily, much better than the Herman ones, so you can put those over his eyes while he's ready to drive. And a really fun accessory that he includes is an interchangeable right hand. You can easily pop off his normal right hand, and in its place, you can add this right hand that is holding onto a cigar. Now, the articulation on Grandpa is a little bit more limited because of the outfit that he's wearing, but his head's on a ball joint, so you can rotate it around, move it left and right. He's got ball joints at the shoulders, swivels at the bicep, standard joints at the elbows, and swivels at the wrist there where the glove cut is. You can't really move his torso or his legs very much because of the coat that he's wearing, but you can still move, kind of rotate the legs a little bit, and you can turn the ankle joints left and right. So, a little less articulation on this particular figure when compared to the others. Now, once again, he also comes with that exact same piece of roadway figure stand that we saw with both Herman and Lily. It's exactly the same, so they don't really fit together or anything like that, and there's no pegs on there, but it still is nice and flat, so you can stand them right on top of it. And lastly, we come to Uncle Gilbert. Now, this particular character actually debuted in the episode Love Comes to Mockingbird Heights. Uncle Gilbert, of course, is the creature from the Black Lagoon, and he is an incredibly cool-looking figure. He's wearing a trench coat and a hat, and he's got a scarf wrapped around his neck. Once again, it's a really great sculpt that depicts the character perfectly as he appeared in the TV series, and it's got a really great paint job, where all of the green parts kind of have this gloss to it, so it looks almost like he's wet and kind of slimy. And then you've got some nice shading on the scarf there to really bring out the details, as well as the textures and everything on the coat that you can see. He does feature a removable hat, so you can pop that right off of his head if you want to. It's made of a nice softer kind of rubbery plastic, and it easily fits right over his head if you want to put it back on there. He's got really cool giant webbed hands and huge webbed feet, so he's a really cool looking character. And as far as his articulation goes, that head's on a nice ball joint so it can move left and right, move up and down. You got ball joints at the shoulders, swivels at the bicep, nice swivels above the elbow as well as the elbow bend, swivels at the wrist there. You don't really turn him at the torso or anything because of the coat that he's wearing, but the leg articulation, he does still hinge outwards, forwards, and backwards, slightly hindered by the coat. You can also rotate at the thigh cut, you got standard joints at the knees, and you have ball joints at the feet, so you can actually rotate them all the way around, turn them left and right, slightly move them up and down. So, pretty decent amount of articulation here to get some really fun poses out of Uncle Gilbert. Now here's where things get really fun. Each one of these characters comes with a piece to build the Munsters staircase. There's an included sheet of instructions that comes with each of the figures that will help you piece together the entire staircase. And once you get the entire thing built, it is incredibly impressive. It stands about 14 inches tall from bottom to its highest point, and it's beautifully detailed. It's got a great paint deco on there that has got a really wild carpet kind of running up the middle of the stairs there, a really great wood grain looking texture on the sides and all around it, so it looks very realistic, and has these very cool gargoyles standing at the pillars at the bottom of the staircase. Another really fun feature with this is that you can lift up the middle of the staircase to reveal their pet dragon underneath. You can even plug in some little included fire pieces into his nose and open up his mouth for an even cooler display of the dragon breathing fire. Overall, it's a really sturdy display. You can even stand your Munster figures on top of the staircase. So this is going to make for an incredibly cool display piece for your Munsters collection. So there you go, guys. There's a look at the brand new Diamond Select Munsters series. All of the figures in this wave are very nicely done. They feature great paint jobs and wonderful sculpt. And even though Herman and Lily and Grandpa are just variants of the main characters, they're still very nicely done and fun variants. Uncle Gilbert is certainly the highlight of this series. He's just a really great character to finally have an action figure form. And if you get these deluxe versions to get that build a staircase, you will definitely not regret it. That is an incredibly fun display piece that's going to be perfect for all Munsters fans out there. This new series of Munsters figures from Diamond Select is on store shelves right now, so happy hunting, and until next time.